One season to make history. It is our exclusive sit down with South Summit's Riggin Boger. A lot on his shoulders as he heads into his senior season, and we got the chance to talk to him all about it. It's all coming up right now on the Scoreboard. To win one state title in wrestling is impressive. To win two is unheard of. To win four in Utah in the sport of wrestling, well, it's a 0.00036%. It is nearly impossible. Of the 68,750 wrestlers ever, only 25 have achieved it. South Summit's Riggin Boger has the chance to become number 26 this year, and after a successful summer and being named to the two-time All-American, Riggin is doing everything he can to achieve the unprecedented odds. Hey everyone, right now we are here with the three-time state champion Riggin Boger. Riggin, thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
Of course, of course. It's
good to be back in the room. I could be wrong, but I feel like you have put on so much muscle. I feel like you've grown. You seem 2 years older now than you were the last time we talked to you.
I ran up to the stands, hugged my mom, hugged my family. That was the first thing I wanted to do after the match.
How has the summer been?
It's been just working out, hanging out. I've been lifting a lot, trying to gain weight so I could jump to 175 next year. But
you've been kind of having a difficulty gaining weight, though. Is that correct?
Yeah, just wrestling so much and always moving, sweating, hard to gain weight.
How many calories are you taking in? I know we talked about it before, but.
So before I started cutting weight for like tournaments, I was taking in probably 8,000 calories a day.
What was that like?
It was a lot of eating. I had to eat a ton. The one time we had enchiladas and I threw up because I ate so much.
Oh my gosh. So eating that much, I mean, like, how do you even, are you throwing up from your wrestling workouts? Like that's just so much eating incorporated with so much cardio as well.
Yeah, so I try to eat after wrestling, not really before, because if I eat before, I feel sluggish and I can't move as quick, and it's just bad news for everybody.
But okay, so you're probably going to continue at 165 then, is that correct?
That's the plan, at least, anyway.
Yeah.
I think it'll benefit the team more if I'm at 165.
How is the team looking? I want to get into you in just a little bit, but how is the team looking?
We're looking really good. We got a couple really stud freshmen coming in. Zane Winter, my little brother should be pretty good. And then some of the freshmen from last year, they've grown a lot too. They've grown up a little bit, matured more. They should benefit the team really good.
Your little brother, how excited are you to have him in the room with you? Is it going to be weird? Is it going to throw you off at all? Or what are you looking forward to?
I don't think it'll throw me off at all because we've kind of been the same size all our life.
Yeah.
So I've been able to wrestle with him always anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think that's going to help him? I mean, we could even bring him in, but do you think that's going to help him in the future, knowing that he's been wrestling with you for the last, your whole lives?
I think it will. I think it'll benefit him just having support there and knowing that there's somebody there that he can kind of depend on, rely on.
I don't know what the rules and regulations are, but would you possibly be allowed to corner him at any of the duels?
I don't know. Maybe. At like tournaments, I probably could, smaller tournaments, not state or region or anything, but yeah. I think smaller tournaments, I could sit in the seat and coach him.
That would probably be really cool because, I mean, you've spent so many hours probably with him just at your house or wherever you may be, so you guys probably know each other better than anyone knows each other, so that's going to be really nice. Speaking of the team, who are some people that maybe we should be looking out for?
Ben Smith, he's a big one. He's going to contribute a lot. And I think Jason Rodriguez and Brandon, they'll come in and surprise some people. I don't think people expect them to do as good as I think they will next year.
How do you feel like the team did last year? I know you had a good season, Max won state as well, but how do you feel like the team overall was?
I feel like we could have done a little bit better. I mean, just some kids didn't perform as well. Some kids were sick. Brady Freeman, he was our 190-pounder, and he was sicker than a dog. Yeah. Throwing up, just bad. Couldn't wrestle, but.
By the looks of it, from your forecast, I know the right answer is probably all of them, but how many of the kids, how many people at specific weight classes do you think have the chance to be number 1 or number 2 in the state this next year?
I'd say 8 or 9, possibly. Really? I think we should have at least 10 kids in the finals next year at state.
Do you feel kind of a weight on your shoulders knowing that amongst these 8 or 9 kids who might be there at state, that you are really the one that everyone's looking at?
Not really. I try not to think about it that way. I try to just think about one match at a time and just focus on the technique and just go out there and fight.
Is it ever difficult to sit there and feel like it's not an individual sport? You do have a team that you care about, but it's also, it's when you go out on the mat, it's just you. And so does there ever have any weird feeling of, I care about my team, but I also need to be selfish at times?
Sometimes. Well, we went to a camp in Colorado, and there was one duel where I kind of had that feeling. Like I thought it was going to be a little bit tougher kid, so I wasn't as involved with the team and kind of just got focused and ready.
Yeah. I've actually been emailing with your coach back and forth all summer, and we've been trying to get a hold of you because obviously you are probably, on terms of our watch list, you're very high up there. I mean, you're chasing history this next year. What have you been up to this summer? What have you been doing? And also, where have you gone, I guess I should say, this summer?
I've been all over the place. So pretty much I've just been training for national tournaments. Last week, Saturday, I just got back from Fargo, which is Freestyle National and Greco Nationals. But I've been to Tulsa. It was junior duels, national junior duel team. And then I came home, was home for a day, and then I left for Colorado for a team camp. And then I came home, I was home for like a week, and I helped out with a wrestling technique camp down in the city. Mm-hmm. Just kind of helped like little kids get it down and stuff. And then the next week we went to an intensive camp up at Bear Lake. Oh, wow. And was there for a week.
Yeah, you've been all over the place. How'd you like coaching, by the way? I just wanted to ask you.
It was pretty fun. It was nice. I got to meet some of the kids, hung out with some of the kids, and I see them around, and I say what's up, and they say what's up to me. And
when it's all said and done, do you have aspirations to go and coach yourself, possibly?
Yeah, I think so in the future.
Yeah. Just give back to the sport that's given you so much. How was Fargo? I actually have been kind of following it a little bit, but I wanted to ask you specifically, how was Fargo?
It was fun. It was a good time. We were there for 10 days, but it didn't go out as I wanted it to. But I went out there, I wrestled, just got to get back to the drawing board and train for next year.
What are some things that you learned from Fargo?
It was a big tournament. There's a lot of kids, and you just got to stay out of your head. You got a long break in between matches, and I just put my headphones on, and I just focused on the matches and just got ready.
What are you typically listening to on your headphones? I'm just curious.
Eminem sometimes.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
What's your favorite Eminem album?
The Kamikaze one. Okay. A couple songs in there, but.
So that's really interesting that you were able to go to that. I heard that before Fargo you had a whole lot of success. I don't think that you had lost a match for quite a period of time going into Fargo. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there was like Tulsa, I went undefeated. It was 17-0. And then Colorado, I think I wrestled technically there was 16 matches, but a lot of those were forfeits. They didn't have my weight for some reason. But I think I won 9 matches. Unbelievable. And the rest were forfeits. But
I wonder, this could just be me, but I wonder if people know who you are, and I could be wrong here, but do you think people might know who you are and might be not wanting to wrestle at 165 because they know that you're there?
I think people in Utah maybe a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of that. I don't see someone's name and be like, oh, yeah, I got to run from this guy because I can't beat him or anything.
And that's not really the culture of wrestling in general. I wanted to ask you, I know that Austin Kelly over at Wasatch was named an All-American this year. Have you possibly been in that same light? Or are you in those same talks of possibly gaining that status at some point?
So Tulsa Junior Duels going undefeated in the styles. So it was freestyle and Greco. And I went undefeated in both. And so I got a freestyle All-American and a Greco All-American.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. 3-time state champion, All-American. I mean, your resume is just continuing to build more and more. Your senior year, what's the goal? What is the main focus?
Just support my team, go out there, wrestle, fight hard. That's my mindset with wrestling now, because I used to get in my head a lot, and I wasn't, this year, some of the folk style tournaments, I was nervous about colleges and stuff, and now I've trained my mind to just be on, focus on fighting hard and focus on the technique and just go have fun.
How is the collegiate outlook right now? Are you hearing from any schools? Are you planning on going anywhere?
I'm definitely going to wrestle in college. I don't know where yet, but there's been a couple schools reach out.
Which schools have been talking to you?
One that was just recently reached out yesterday was South Dakota State, and then Western Colorado and Coast Guard Academy and Fort Hays.
Those are some good names. So is that something that you're really looking forward to? Is it kind of nice to know that at the end of this season, that's the last time that they get to step out on the mat, or near the end of the summer, I should say. For you get to continue on once you continue through high school. Are you happy that you get that opportunity?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to go on to that next level and keep continuing my wrestling career.
How much does wrestling mean to you, just in general? What does it mean to you?
Wrestling's like a lifestyle. Everybody says that wrestles it, but it's to me, it's not a sport. I've just grown up with wrestling all my life, so it's a part of me.
Yeah. Do you ever worry about what it's going to be like when you're done wrestling?
Yeah, all the time. I have a coach in the city, and he tells me that he misses wrestling so much, and he regrets not pushing harder and stuff like that.
Do you have an end-all goal with wrestling? Is there anywhere you want to take it?
I want to take it maybe to a world team, is the goal anyway.
Yeah. I remember at the All-Star Duels last year, we were there, and you faced Jordan Pfeiffer, who was another All-American. I wanted to get your thoughts on that specific match, just what you thought of it and what you learned from it, I should say.
I was sicker than a dog, and my whole family was there, and they could all see it. My face was sucked in, and I just had no strength, and I was tired and couldn't breathe very well. And so, but I don't know. I just didn't wrestle like I should have. I think it was that mindset of, oh, colleges are watching, I got to be number one. I got to beat this guy. That was my mindset going into the match, and I was pumped. I was ready to go, but third period hit, and I just made a stupid mistake and got caught in a cradle.
Yeah. And I mean, Jordan Pfeiffer is no scrub either. I mean, he was an All-American as well, and he was a very, very talented wrestler himself. So for you to even go out there was saying a lot, and you also had a very good match as is. So that being said, I mean, he was a 6A guy. How do you feel like you line up with not just the people in 3A, but all across the state of Utah, 1A through 6A?
I think I line up pretty well. So a couple of the kids, I wrestled the 5A, number one 5A kid at the tournament here, and I ended up beating him. I can't remember the score. I think it was 10-6, 10-4. And I felt pretty good about that. I think he was the number one kid at 165 at the state at the time.
Is there any sort of extra excitement for this year as you're chasing history? And I don't mean to keep putting that on this pedestal and making you feel, uncomfortable. But it really is. I mean, it's a very, very prestigious thing that you're chasing. Bridget Ricks did it last year. But before that, I don't think the last person that did it was, 2013. So that being said, I mean, this is a very uncommon thing to happen. Do the people in the room know that that's happening? Are people trying to make sure that you're good, you're healthy, you're taken care of so that you can achieve that big goal?
Some of my biggest supporters in achieving that goal has been my mom. Mm-hmm. She's always meal prepped, good food, makes sure I have good fuel in the system, and wrestling tournaments. If I need anything, I just tell her and she'll go get it. She's always there. And then Brock Pulver, and Jake McCormick, they've been big help too with the recruiting processes and getting colleges to look at me. And
Yeah. What's it been like with Brock Pulver here now? He's the new head coach. Cole Sanderson left last year. I know that he was a big part of your journey as well. But what's it like having Brock here?
so I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the guy. He's always been super nice, and he's kind of a goober, but he's super fun to be around.
Is there a change in the culture of the room with him here?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think there will be. We haven't had any practices with just him being the coach, but I think it'll be different.
Yeah. When does actual practice start? I know you'll probably start conditioning at some point, but when does actual practice start?
Not till usually like the end of October. And then, because it's like, right now we can't even practice with one of the head coaches being here because of, can't think of what it's called.
I forget the name of it too, but I know what you're talking about. Well, that's all very interesting. I mean, it's going to be a new change, new face, new season, all those things. Who has been cornering you at these tournaments?
Jake McCormick's been a big one.
Oh, okay.
It was usually Cole Sanderson and Jake McCormick.
Oh, okay.
But the recent tournaments I've been to, it's been like Team Utah coaches. And so my uncle Dwayne Henry coaches at Mountain Ridge, and he helps with Team Utah and stuff.
Is it weird competing with people that you're going to be competing against here in the next little bit?
I don't think so. I mean, it's all just like how you look at it. I mean, when like we're all on a team, like Marcus, like I said, we've always wrestled each other since like freshman year, back and forth. And he was on that team too. He was 160, I was 170. And like, it was like, you know, we've never even wrestled. We were just friends. Everybody hangs out. It's just a good time.
I guess that's one of the cool things about wrestling in high school is that you kind of know each other and you grow up competing your whole lives. Is that correct? Yeah.
So, like, I have a buddy from St. George, and we've wrestled since we were like 6. Just wrestled each other. I haven't wrestled them in a while, but we just grew up. We're good friends now. Like, we hang out sometimes when I'm down there, and when he comes up here, he hangs out. But
Yeah. And so you kind of create this almost bond with a lot of these people, and they're more than just competitors. They're also friends and almost like brothers.
oh yeah, definitely.
What is the number one thing you're looking forward to this year?
I think just hanging out with the team, the environment in the wrestling room is just going to be so good.
Yeah. Do you think that with Brock it's going to be a little bit looser? It seems like wrestling is going to be a little bit more fun with this new year. I don't know if that's just me picking up on stuff or trying to pick up on stuff, but that's kind of what it sounds like to me. Is there kind of a new excitement with the new coaching changes and the new kids coming in?
I think the main thing is like the new kids coming in. Like they get along, the kids that wrestle get along with most of the high schoolers. And like we hang out with them outside of the wrestling room too. So I think that's a big factor. And I think practices, I think there'll be like a lot more conditioning and a lot more running than it was with Coach Cole. But
Do you think that's going to help you guys?
oh yeah, definitely. Last year, I think we were like the worst conditioned team in the state.
Lots of kids gassing out and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How much is conditioning important in your opinion? I hear the craziest stories about wrestling that a 25-minute MMA fight or, a 15, 20-minute jiu-jitsu match has no comparison to a wrestling match. And I'd agree with it probably.
I don't know. I think conditioning plays a big factor. If you're in good shape and you can like wrestle long, then it'll benefit you like crazy. But like in here, I think a lot of it's mental too. Because like in the wrestling room, we do like 10-minute matches and where you go 10 minutes straight the whole time. And like we're not even phased. Or we do like groups of 3 and it's like one guy's in for 6 minutes and the 2 guys switch each minute wrestling live with them. And so matches are 6 minutes in high school. And like we wrestle live for 30 minutes straight and up here. So I think a lot of it's just like mental.
Yeah.
And a lot of the kids just can't get past that block to.
Yeah. Do you think that it's going to really benefit you that you've been so active this summer. I mean, I know kids have been going to tournaments and things like that, but you've been, it seems like nonstop with wrestling.
Yeah, I think it'll benefit me. Yeah. I think I'm a lot better wrestler now than I was a couple months ago in like February at state.
Wow. Do you ever get burnt out? Do you ever worry about a burnout with wrestling? Or is it, I know you said it's kind of like a part of your life.
Yeah, I get burnt out. Like, I'm kind of burnt out from this summer. Right now, I'm just taking like a little break, relaxing until October probably is when I'll get back to it.
Well, I know you're probably sick of wrestling. I'm sure you're probably tired of talking about wrestling as well. Riggin Boger, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother.
Of course.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Scoreboard. On Friday, we are kicking off football season. Sports are back. School is back in session, and we are very excited to get going with it.
6 to 7 weeks, you know, it's going to be week 1. You're going to be playing Park City.
Oh, yeah.
How excited are you for that game, and how do you see that game playing out?
I'm so excited. My first game at home against our rivals. I hate Park City, not even going to lie. But I do love some of your players. Hopefully we put up a good game, yeah. So they're good. I know they're good. I know some of their players on their team, so with Alpha and stuff. So they're going to be good, but we'll see. We'll see August 12th.
Yeah. You seem giddy about it. You seem
excited. I'm excited, yeah. I'm really excited. We got a lot of skill, so.
For the entire Scoreboard team, I am Blake O'Rulian. We will see you all on Friday.